Since the last time, as you know, we presented our report and the Human Rights Council extended our mandate for another 12 months. But this time, the aim of the mandate was quite focused into collating and collecting all the materials that we had already and the evidence that we had already put together to deepen our understanding of it, to collect and collate the material in a manner that could be used for future legal proceedings. So we had to really dig deeper into the investigation, into the evidence, into the materials in order to make way for any future legal proceedings. And secondly, we were looking at accountability mechanisms. And for that, of course, we need to spread out, and we did need to speak more to families, to victims themselves, to get as much evidence as we could. And also for us, as you know, in all human rights violations, the voices of the victims, the notions of healing, of having their voices heard, of accountability, of truth and justice and reparations is a major aspect. And so in this second year, we are focused a lot on accountability and on really polishing up the work that we had done in the first year. What we have said really is we can completely understand if we were to place ourselves where the victims are and where their families are. They're obviously the ones who have suffered in mental, emotional, physical, psychological, economical. In many ways, it's changed their lives forever. And so for us, it is a huge responsibility on our shoulders to talk to them about what the mandate is about, what we can do and what we cannot do, because it is not within our mandate. So we are not a court of law, and therefore we cannot put the perpetrators on trial. However, what we can do is to support the victims and the processes to put together solid, robust evidence and start those thinking processes of what can be done with all the evidence, and hopefully that some accountability mechanism, some reparations, the right of the victims to truth and justice may take place. Since we've come to Munich and we've had these consultations, we notice that from our interviews and our meetings and our consultations with victims and their families, that a lot of our findings have really become more sharpened and more deepened, and also a lot of the testimonies from people who are from different parts of Iran, the evidence is being corroborated. So for example, one person says, when I was shot and went to the clinic to have my eye operation, I saw 5 or 6 other people there. Now, not one person, but all the victims who have been through the blinding, they all found at least 5 or 6 others who were blinded. Now, this is the kind of cross-referencing and triangulation of evidence that I think has really deepened our investigation, and it has strengthened the quality of the work that we have done. We have been contacting the Iranian regime and the government of Iran. And to this day, we have written at least more than 30 letters to them. But we received the response to one. And that was regarding the death penalty of one of the persons who had been involved in the killings. Our final report, again like last year, we will have our mandated report, and we will have a conference room paper. And we are also looking at persons of interest. So on all these fronts, our investigations are ongoing, and this year again has been very intense because we have to really go through a lot of materials and really put all our thought and mind and effort into getting the investigation as deep and as strong as we can. The evidence that we have is from the medical reports of the victims that these were at very close range. That is the reason why they were blinding. That is the reason why there was so much devastation and so much harm to not only the eyes of the victims but to the rest of their body as well, because the trauma that the eye and the body suffered was very, very huge and significant. So what we have found, and we are compiling the reports, and we have forensic experts as well who we are identifying the kind of ammunition that was used. There are a number of areas where we are quite concerned. For example, the facial recognition machinery or techniques technology that is available to the government of Iran. It comes from outside Iran, from different countries. If you look at, for example, the weaponry, a lot of it is not made inside Iran. It comes from outside Iran. Likewise, there are so many supportive evidence that that machines and machinery and technology is coming from different parts of the Western Hemisphere. And so we find it very painful to see that on the one hand we have governments who are supporting human rights publicly, but on the other hand their corporations and their industry is actually selling the kind of or exporting the kind of machinery and facilities that are facilitating this harm on the people. So we are very aware of it and we are looking into it. That is going to be quite a long struggle, and again it will mean that we will have to look at all the international legal processes that can be used to make a case for the banning of this kind of export, to facilitate people to kill other people, to maim other people, to blind other people. In fact, it is literally to eliminate their lives. Even if they are physically alive, the kind of hurt that they have received physically, mentally and emotionally, they are worse than dead people. So as we have found crimes against humanity, but it is also part of the process of the crime against humanity to facilitate people with these weapons.